Okay, so let's start. Welcome to all to this third meeting, foreseen in order to help you to prepare your application in the framework of our fourth call for proposals, open for thematic projects. So we are going to record the meeting, and then the presentation and the recording will be on the website, on the program website. So you will have the possibility to have a look at it later on. Please keep your microphone off, and if you have questions, you can use the Q&R option that appear on the top of your screen. It is a small Q&R mention, and then you can put your question in the chat in order for us to have a look at them. Please, in the framework of eligibility meeting, we are used to have individual consultation regarding one specific case. Try to avoid this type of question, because the aim of this meeting is to share the information that can be valuable to all. So try to avoid individual consultation. For this type of question, we have a system of question and answer online that can be addressed directly to the program, and you can also refer to your national authorities. Okay, so thank you. So this is the third meeting, the last one concerning the work plan construction. Then we will have within 1 month the last session about question and answer. So there you can put all your questions about the constitution of and the finalization of your application. And you have access to the 2 previous meetings on the website. They are already online. Okay, so the agenda of today, we are going to have a more theoretical, let's say, part about how to build your budget, about the eligibility rules applied to the program and applicable to your project, a short overview of the state aid rules, but there is a dedicated online meeting recorded and available on the website also, only dedicated to this point. So we are going to go very fast today. Then the time for the question and answer and a small break, comfortable break, and after that we will go through GEMS in order to see how you can you must fill in your application form, because it's not so obvious as it should be. Okay, so only to remind the deadline already highlighted by my colleagues, the submission of the final application form should be made by the 12th of June. And from that moment, you will be able to generate the mandatory annexes and to make them sign in order to upload them then on GEMS. And the selection of your project is expected by the beginning of 2025. Concerning the tools and the information, the access to the information, on the program webpage, you have all the application pack, let's say. So the term of references, a very nice courtesy version of the application form that we redacted in order to help you understand what is expected from which part, from each individual part of the application form. So please, before starting the redaction work, have a look at it and check where specific information is expected in which section, because this will ease the assessment and this will allow to make your project go up on the assessment. If the information we are looking for is missing or is not in the application form when it should be expected, this can impact also the assessment. Then The full application should be made through GEMS. So if you are already participating in previous call, you already know the system. If no, you have the link, and on the website you have the page to access to the system. If you already have an account, you can use it. And if no, you can create one through the main page of the system. So you create a new account, you fill in all the information, and you use the validation email that will be used for the full application. So do not put the email of your official responsible, put the email of the technical person that will be in charge of implementing of redacting the application form. So let's start with the content. So how to draw up your budgets. So in the manual, you have all main reference, but let's have a look on the key points. So the idea for a territorial cooperation project is that the budget should be think ahead. You must keep trace of all your costs, and you must ensure the value for money of your expenditure. So the sound financial management is the key word within the project co-financed by the European Union. Then we are going to work always in euro, and the system is in charge of making the change of your rate if you are using another money. And the project should be developed in close cooperation with your partner. But this is from the very, very beginning. Do not wait the validation stage to spread out the budget. Build it with your partner, because there are many points that will be blocked then for the rest of the implementation of the project. And some points should be agreed well in advance with your partner and will appear in the declaration that they will sign for as an annex to the application form. So the budget should be co-constructed from the beginning in order to avoid a very, very long time spent on pre-contracting. So changes should be avoided. And we have a global budget. My colleague will show you. The budget is at project level. It's very general. It's not individual for each activity of each partner, but it's the total. But it has to be agreed in advance. So please try to focus on this point. The budget is divided between the 6 allowed categories according to the regulation, and periods. So you will have period of 6 months, and then the last one of 9 months for the closure of your project. And for the total budget must be in line with the work plan, because it will be assessed as a tool in order to allow the feasibility of your activities. So try to have a realistic budget, and to keep in mind that cost should be committed, and then they can be claimed only after they are engaged, paid, and certified. So on your work plan, also take into account this time lapse. Then for EGC project, there is a co-financing principle. So only 80% of the total budget is reimbursed by the program. So the 20% missing remain to the charge of the partner, and you must announce from the application phase how you foresee to finance this 20%. So it can be a own contribution, public or private, and it can be automatic in different countries, and external private. This will depend, but you will have to mention this information on the application form. Then Concerning cooperation project, we are using the reimbursement principle. So all costs will be committed and paid by the partner. Then they have to be justified and they have to be verified and claimed. And once they are claimed, the program will reimburse the 80% of the corresponding cost. Your budget is based on the real costs from one side, for which you have to keep all the justification, all the documents, and for the other side, simplified cost options, which are part of the total budget. So you have to take them into account in the total. And among them, we have the lump sum for preparation cost. So this lump sum is compulsory for all projects. There is a total amount of 37,000 euros that should be shared between all partners according to an agreement that according to the discussion that you will have with your partner and to agree with them. And this information will appear in the consolidated application form in a dedicated section for preparation cost. It's not part of the activities budgeted, but you have to include it on the share of the total partner cost. Then there is also a compulsory flat rate for to cover office and administration cost. So this is very, let's say, very easy and very useful for partner, because you don't have to keep trace of all the costs related to office and administration. So there is an exhaustive list on the manual of the costs that are covered by this flat rate, and it's based off the eligible staff cost. So once you claim the staff cost, you have automatically 15%, flat rate calculated by the system, and that will be reimbursed by the program. There is also the option of a flat rate for travel and accommodation, which is between 15% and 22% if you are based in an IPA state. And also, if you opt for this option, and we highly recommend to opt for this option because travel and accommodation can be source of many small mistakes that can lead to major corrections. So we recommend to go for the flat rate. But if you go for it, it will be the same. Depending on the eligible staff cost, the system will calculate automatically the 50% and the 22%. So those are, let's say, the key option for the construction of your budget. So concerning the lump sum for preparation costs, the amount is fixed and has to be shared between all partners participating to the preparation of the project. This also includes IPA partners. So please do not concentrate the full amount on the lead partner side only, and try to share this in a fair way. Advance payment have been suppressed, so all partners are functioning in the same way for this period. And well, the information should be set in the consolidated application form before generating the declaration that will be signed by project partners. The declaration is there. Well, the content of the declaration is there. So in the document, we will have the origin and the amount of the co-financing, the travel and accommodation method chosen by the partner, the share of preparation costs that go to the partner, and the eventual stated relevancy. So then if any action is deemed stated relevant, you will have to provide additional documents or not, depending on the scheme you will choose, GBER or de minimis. And once the information is consolidated in the application form, you generate the document, and you make them verified by partner, they sign it, and you have to put them again on GEMS. Please keep in mind that any change during the pre-contracting phase on those elements led us to a very long pre-contracting phase. So try to avoid changing that because we have projects that are waiting months before starting their activities because of this type of details. Concerning the VAT, all projects can budget the VAT within their total, because there is a threshold of 5 million euros for the eligibility of VAT. Except in the case of partner applying to the program under the GBER Article 20 that will be presented then by Massimo. But if you are not concerned by the GBER, you can include that within the total budget of your operation for the partner. It's always at partner level. Then the decommitment, you have to be aware about this rule because it applies to programs, but it will impact indirectly also project, because it's a rules to summarize that if a program is not able to spend the estimated budget for a determined year, the missing amount can be recovered by the Commission. The fact is that the program in se doesn't have any cost, any amount. The majority of the amount claimed are from the project. So if you spend online with your expectation and your forecast, there should not be the commitment at program level. If projects are under construction, the program takes the risk of the commitment rule, and in this case, the decommitment is applied and is impacted to the project. Let's hope that this will not happen, but you are actor of this mechanism, and in order to avoid it, you have to take care about the consumption, the expected consumption per partner per semester that will appear in table D3 of your application form. So when consolidating the application form, your project officer will give you some tips on how to fill in this information. And maybe some adjustment will be needed because our decommitment is based on that data, mainly. Then concerning investment, investment is a concept that is only allowed for test project. So it's about infrastructure, technical and IT equipment, materials, and any equipment used for the implementation of the pilot action only. And in order to be addressed as investment, it must be necessary for the delivery of project objective. In this case, in the case of investment, cost can be potentially 100% eligible for co-financing, for sure. And they have to appear as such in the consolidated application form. So our colleague Julia then will show you how to attach a cost to an investment. But the idea is that if you want to be able to claim 100%, you are implementing a pilot action in the framework of a test project, you can put investment in your application form. But some obligations related to durability and ownership, and obligation related to the link with the project objective will have to be complied with. So then Zsofia will show you also some tips about this concept. And the fact is that you can, if you claim fully the amount, you can claim it on the application form once the activity is implemented. So we don't have advance payment. To be eligible, a cost always has to be related to an implemented activity, and to be the proof with the relation to the project has to be demonstrated and approved by your controller. Okay, so now my colleague Zsofia will go in deep within the eligibility of expenditure. Only before she starts, keep in mind that all rules are stated in the program manual, and as applicant or main applicant, you must read the program manual. Have a look at it, spread out the information in order for your partners or potential partner. Be sure that they understand the rules and the context in which they are going to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ludivine. Good morning to everyone. I will talk about the eligibility of expenditure. First of all, there are a hierarchy of rules on eligibility of expenditure, which should be respected in any cases. So there are 3 levels of rules concerning to the eligibility. The most often used and the most important, on the top, we have the regulation of the European Union. Here you have listed the most relevant, the most used regulations. On the second level, we have the program rules, which constitute additional rules on the eligibility of expenditures for the program as a whole. So you can find it in the program manual in detailed version. And for question of eligibility, which are not covered by the European regulation and the program rules, the next level is the national eligibility rules, which apply. So please refer to your national contact point to check what are the national eligibility rules to apply in the implementation period. From a time-wise perspective, expenditure is eligible according to the following periods of time. The preparation is the first period. The cost for the preparation and the contracting phase are covered by a lump sum, which was mentioned by my colleague Ludivine before. So it's 37,000 euros. And then we estimate that this covers all your expenditure. And then for the implementation, the most important date you have to know is the starting date of the eligibility of the expenditure, which is the date of the approval of the project by the program committee. You will be informed in that case in a written letter, so you will see it for sure. And all operational expenditure must be related to the implementation of an activity carried out before the official end date, and this official end date is established in the application form in JAMS. So this is the end date of the eligibility of expenditure. So all expenditure should be incurred and paid during this implementation period. Otherwise, if they paid later on the end date of the project, for instance, they are not eligible. So because we intended the closing 3 months period in the implementation period, so when it's over, it's over. Okay, it worked nicely. So and now we check the categories one by one. So the first category is the staff cost. Eligible costs in this category are limited to the payment of gross salaries of the staff employed by the beneficiaries for implementing the project. And the new element in this period that we have only one method for claiming staff cost, the method called the fixed monthly percentage method. It means that for each staff member, an estimated average of a monthly working time spent on the project expressed in percentage has to be estimated. And this percentage will be used during at least one reporting period, which is in our case 6 months. The bigger advantage of this methodology is that there is no need to establish and to present for us a separate working time registration system. So we will base our reimbursement on this declared percentage for each staff member. If you have any special contract or cases, please contact your national contact point to be sure that your model or your contract is eligible in the term of the program and the national rules. The next category is the office and administration. Here you can budget, but not really budget, but here we budget together the indirect costs which are related to the project. So this covers all the operating and administrative expenditures which are necessary for the project implementation. As my colleague said, the reimbursement and the budgeting is based on a flat rate, so-called flat rate methodology. It means that it's a simplified cost option. It means that every budget will have this 15% office and administration cost budgeted in the application form. We will see later on with Julia how it works, but it's important to tick this option, which is shown in this slide. So this is mandatory, and the advantage is that you don't have to provide any audit, any invoice or proof of payment. It will be endorsed every time you claim staff cost, eligible staff cost. And also a very important note that no expenditure. Hello.
Johnny?
Please
Turn off your
turn off
microphone.
your microphone. Thank you. So any expenditure which consider the indirect expenditure cannot be declared as a real cost under any other cost category. So please be aware of this rule. It will be this expenditure will be denied by the controllers during the reporting. Okay, the third category is the travel and accommodation cost. Here under this category you can budget expenses of the project partner staff for missions, travels, which are essential to the project implementation. This is the list from the items which are eligible under this category. This list is exhaustive and it's based on the European regulation. So here we cannot do any changes. And be aware that any item of expenditure above listed in this list already covered by a daily allowance should not be reimbursed in addition to the daily allowance. So you should be also aware of your national eligibility rules concerning the daily allowance, how it works. It can also depend on your institution, so please be aware how it works for your institution. So as said before, but a reminder that you have two calculation methods you can choose. One is the simplified cost option. It's really recommended by us, and I will tell you later what are the advantages, why we recommend it. As a reminder for the EU, the partners coming from a EU state, this cost option, this flat rate is fixed to 15% of the eligible staff cost. For partners coming from IPA countries, it's 22. These rates have been determined based on historical real data from the 15-20 programming period. These rates have been calculated taking into consideration the average values of the travel expenditure declared by all partners per country. So the proposed fixed percentages suit for a big majority of partners, we believe so, and our previous call ensured us that the most of the partners are okay with this proposition and they choose the simplified cost option. But there can be cases when you opt for a real cost basis declaration. In any cases you choose the real cost, you have to justify it because we will assess it and at least at the pre-contracting phase. So this justified reason justification should be already in the application form. So, which is very important, if you have partners who already has the project approved in the Interreg Euromed program, they should keep this chosen method for this application also, because this is a rule for our program that once one method is chosen, the partner should use this method at the whole programming period in the Interreg program. So please inform if you have already projects approved and just use the method which is in this subsidy contract, because we don't have the possibility to modify it. So it's just a very strict rules of us. Okay. So what are the advantages of the flat rate methodology? First of all, there is no necessary to detail in the budget what type of cost and what travels included in this cost category. And with simplification goes on because during the implementation there is no need to prove that the expenses have been incurred and paid. It's automatically calculated. And with this option, we can reduce big control effort and we can speed up the certifying, the cost certification and also the verification. So we really recommend to use this option. Then if you choose a real cost, it should be really an exception and duly justified cases. Like for instance, in cases when a partner doesn't declare staff cost and we cannot calculate on the basis of staff cost the travel and accommodation costs, or for instance it was already the chosen method for a previous project, so this is an exceptional and justified case. I want to mention one eligibility rules that travel outside the Interreg Euromed cooperation area, but in the EU area, are possible as long as they are in line with the project objective. So please give us justification if you want to travel outside the programming cooperation area or outside the European Union, so we can assess the necessity of this action. Okay, it's enough from the travel and accommodation. We go on to the external expertise and services costs. So in case a partner does not have certain competencies within its own organization, it's possible to outsource some of the project tasks. But this outsourcing should be still in a reasonable level. So you cannot outsource all of your activities because it's not the reason why a partner is in the certain area or in the project. So here I just want to say to you some cases. So cost related to the national control work is you have to budget in this cost category. In this on the cases when this is your charge. You can also check this point with your national contact point if you should budget it or it's provided by your country's government. Travel and accommodation cost for external expert speakers, chairpersons of meetings and service providers or associated partners should be budgeted under this cost category. So please be aware that it's not covered by the travel and accommodation flat rate. And you should mention in the budget the costs related to the pilot activity, which are linked to the investment. You should tick this relation in GEMS, but Julia will show you after on how it works. Which is very important to respect all EU program and national procurement rules. And of course, the respect of the principle of transparency, non-discrimination, and equal treatment during the selection and implementation of this type of activities. We kindly ask you to indicate in the budget, at least at the description part of each planned expertise service, give us a description, what do you mean on this cost, and the corresponding amount, of course, and the award procedure also, because we assess this information you provide also. So please be as precise as you can be at this stage of the project. And for your information, for the reimbursement for this cost category, it's always real cost. So you have to keep an audit trail with the evidence of the selection process, the invoice or the proof of the payment, the deliverables. So it doesn't change for this programming period. You should keep a complete audit trail for this cost category. Equipment can be purchased, rented, or leased. All three types of costs are eligible. I want to just highlight that if you plan to buy equipment to use for the project management, it must be reasonably purchased at the beginning of the project. So yeah, I think it's logical. And also there is a rule concerning the cooperation area, which I want to share with you, is that for equipment located and operated outside the cooperation area and outside the EU, the express approval of the GS is needed. So if you plan using equipment outside the cooperation area and outside the EU, you should justify it in the application form. Why is it needed? And the GS will assess this information. Equipment related to an investment, which we call the fixed investment in equipment, must be clearly necessary for the pilot implementation and included in the application form in the section investment, and then you should link the investment to the equipment cost in the budget you will see later on. And we kindly ask you to give us a short but good description of each type of equipment you want to use for your project. And as I said, but I said it once again, the amount and the award procedure, because we assess this information. Please be precise.
And not the provider. We need to have an information on the subject, but not the provider name.
Okay. This is just a small recap how you can budget the amount for the equipment, because we have several rules. So I just want to give you a overall recap on that. So when an equipment is a fixed investment in equipment, so it's a part of an investment, the full cost can be claimed, the full cost of the purchase of the equipment, for instance. If equipment is not linked to an investment, we don't let you to claim the full cost of the purchase, but you have several options, so you have to choose which is best for your activities. One option is that you can declare the depreciation cost of the equipment according to your depreciation plan and corresponding to the period of the use for the project of the equipment. So this is one option. If you, for instance, if you have already this equipment, you don't want to buy it again just for the project. But if you don't want to use it, for instance, for a long period, you can also opt to renting of this equipment. This is also refundable. You can claim the 100% of the renting cost during the period you use this equipment in the project. Same goes for the leasing of an equipment. And any cases, if the equipment is not used exclusively for the project, prioritization is mandatory. So this is the rule. And another small information, but very important, that in case of depreciation cost, you have to ensure that and justify that other public grants have not contributed towards the acquisition of the depreciation asset. Otherwise, it is not eligible. So it's a reglementary rule. So we will check it in any case. In every case, you declare depreciation cost. Okay, and our last category, it's a new category for Interreg in the 21-27 period. This is the infrastructure and work. Here we go very simple in the sense that you can only budget on this cost category if you implement an investment. So this is only open for the test project which implement pilot activities. This category includes the cost of the fixed investment in infrastructure. You should mention it on the application form. You should link it with the investment, which is part of the investment. And what we want to highlight that for this cost category, it's also reimbursed on real cost, and the full cost is can be claimed for this category. And there is also a restriction regarding the location of the infrastructure. Outside of the program area, it's not they are prohibited. So it's not allowed to finance infrastructure outside of the program cooperation area. So please be aware of that. And once again, in the description field in GEMS, please be very precise what you budgeting there. And for each type of infrastructure and work cost, check that, choose the award process and the corresponding amount. So very shortly, that was my presentation on the eligibility of expenditure by cost categories.
Okay, so we have two questions in the Q&A about the maximum total amount that can be registered. So per project category, there is no, okay, per project category. Okay, for test, the threshold is 2.5 million. And for transfer is 1.5, so it's fine. I saw. No, so this is those are the maximum threshold and the ones appearing in the term of reference. And then please could you provide us with an example of the decommitment rule? Fortunately, I cannot, because we never had decommitment within the program. This is our third programming period, and we never had a decommitment because we try to monitor it in a very strict way with you. So, but the idea is that if there is a global decommitment at program level, then the committee, the monitoring committee of the program, must decide on how we will impact it to the project, depending on countries, on partners, on the historic of any spending project. But the idea is that make a very clear forecast in the section D3 of your application form, and based on that, we should not have problem. So then the idea is that you put you select as soon as possible your controller in order to be able to start certifying and claiming costs as soon as possible. And then you spend according to the forecast, knowing that your project officer will help you in case of selection, will help you to consolidate the application form in order to build a realistic D3 section, let's say. Because we know that at the beginning, project cannot spend as much as they hope in general. So we always try to give input. Then it remains a partnership decision to agree or not, but we will give you advice and recommendation on how to build this section. And those are the only questions for the moment, at least in the Q&A. You can use the conversation for networking, so it's fine. But if you have questions, put them on the other channel, because I'm not checking it. Okay, there is one. Could you clarify whether an application for secretariat should be considered an investment or anything? The other good. To sustainable tourism. Okay, there is a question. Clarify whether an application for sustainable tourism should be considered an investment or an expense categories under other goods. Well, the category of costs are fixed and exhaustive, and they are established by the regulation. Then, if you want to consider it an investment, it has to be part of the project objective. It cannot be only a small equipment acquired for general management or those points. And please avoid putting the question there. I will try to cover them, but for the
maybe the last one.
Yeah, forestry work and then the category infrastructure and work. Well, it will depend. It will depend about the forestry work, clearing, pruning, thinning, category infrastructure and work cost. It will depend on the cost you want to cover. There is also the exhaustive the exhaustive list. It will be between infrastructure and equipment, depending on the type of activity you will have to implement. If there are building activities or this type of activities implemented. And the last one was the percentage of automatic public contribution in each country in the collaboration area. In the case of the automatic public contribution, you have to contact your national authority. The contacts are on the website, and all requirements in order to apply for this automatic. This is not automatic, so you have to apply for it. Of this automatic public co-financing, you have to contact the concerned national authority. So it will be only in Greece, Italy, and Bulgaria. For the other ones, there is no automatic possibility at national level. Okay, so if it's all, I go through the PowerPoint, and Massimo will have make a small presentation of state aid. We remind that there is a dedicated 2 hours, I think, 2 hours meeting on this issue. Technical points are detailed there. So the idea is that we will not spend the remaining time only for the state aid. We will have a general overview to understand the logic and how to apply. Thank you.
Yes, effectively. Thank you, Rudy and Zsofia. Good morning to everyone. Yes, in fact, there is a here we propose only 4 slides about this, an extract of a big seminar that we did in January, where the national authorities and applicant and partners were attempting to. So we start this little presentation about the state aid compliance of your application with the legal framework. So here we put the primary sources, let's say, which is the Article 107, the famous Article 107 of the Treaty of the Functioning of the European Union, and then all the other legal framework, including our what's stated in our program manual and etc., are coming from this general treaty. If we go to the next slide, as you can see, our the program approach is based on 2 main bases, which is the General Block Exemption Regulation, the so-called the GBR, and the de minimis. The General Block Exemption Regulation is a regulation written by the Commission specifically for the cooperation territorial cooperation project. So it is composed, let's say, by the classic direct aid, which is the Article 20, and then which was introduced in 2014, and then in 2021 the Commission introduced the Article 20A or 20 bis. You can, depending from the translation of the regulation, you can find both mentioned, which is called to informally, let's say, indirect aid, but we will see it in details in the next slide. And of course, there is the de minimis regulation, which has been recently replaced in December 2023 by the Commission. So going through the direct aid statement, as already said, basically we are talking about the implementation of activities in the framework of projects. So in any case that you can evaluate that your activity proposed in the framework of the project gives an economic advantage, such as a benefit to a partner, which is part of the partnership of your project, this should be in certain cases considered as state aid relevant. the co-financing of such activities are prohibited by the European Union, as you maybe know. So some exemptions have been put in place by the Commission, which is the General Block Exemption Regulation, which are the strengths and the weaknesses of those approach. We made this table in order to try to be more clear, even because the regulation and the evolution of the regulation is still ongoing, let's say, because as already said, for example, the de minimis regulation changed in December 2023, and we are still waiting for some clarification from the Commission in order to be applied to our program. But let's say the pillar of this dual approach are the threshold that for the GBER Article 20 in case of direct state aid is 2.2 million euro, which is the ceiling that should be applied, can be applied per partner and per project. This another point of strengthness is that this approach can ensure that participation of a large audience to the European territorial cooperation, because the ceiling is very high, at least for the budget approved under our in the framework of our program. Concerning the GBER and the weaknesses, no, sorry, is the previous one. Thank you. So the weaknesses of the GBER are that once you select this scheme, the automatic public contribution we were talking about a few seconds ago is not admitted, because the only public co-financing is the one provided by the program. So this is the first weaknesses which cannot be, which should be considered by the partner. And in case you have a VAT scheme that foresee the refunds of your the VAT declared to the program, in this case the VAT should not be eligible, so it should be deducted by your claimed cost. Or if not, it will be deducted by your national controller and all the control levels which your expenditure foresee. Concerning the minimis, we consider that it is a good scheme for small partners which do not participate often to the ETC projects and program. In this case, the external public co-financing will be admitted, as well as the refundable VAT. In this case, there is the weaknesses are deleted. What we want to say to close with the de minimis approach is that only the contribution approved by a managing authority located in France will be considered as part of the de minimis total co-financing. So only for those programs who have the managing authority in France. There should be some financial constraints for partners, because the ceiling is 300,000 euros, which has been amended, as already said, in December, which was the ex 200,000 euros and the former 200,000 euro. And this amount is calculated on the last 3 years of the fiscal years of the partners. So this should be considered in during the application phase by each partner, because as Julia will show you in a presentation, this is part of the it's a specific section of the partner, let's say, part of the application form. I will close this presentation with the indirect state aid, what is foreseen by the Article 20A of the General Block Exemption Regulation. Thank you, Ludi. So the case is let's say in this case, if the direct state aid talks about the direct aid and benefit which can be provided by within the partners. For the indirect state aid, we can talk about any indirect aid that should be provided to third parties acting outside the partnership of the partnership. So in this case, it's important to say that, for example, in case we have associated partners, they are not considered as third part outside of the partnership. So in this case, the indirect state aid is 22,000 euros as a ceiling per partner and per undertaking and per partner. So in this case, we don't call it partner, but we call it final beneficiary. So it's a little bit the terminology that changes. For more information about that, as already said by my colleague, there is a specific section of our website, which is called Document and Tools. And there you have a tag which is called Media Kit or Document and Tools 2, and then you can find documentation and video about the issue. So I think it's all for my side because the question asked was pushing me. Yes.
I'm sorry, someone was touching the presentation. So if you change the slide, if someone changes slide at home, you change the full presentation. So sorry.
Okay. I didn't know it.
No. Okay. So I don't see new question about this section. So if you agree, we make a small comfortable break and we come back then for the GEMS demonstration. Okay. And please avoid touching the slide in the bottom of the page of the presentation. Okay, see you in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so we are back. Only to remind that if you have specific question related to your activities, for instance, the question about the forestry works, you can put them more precisely by written and address them to the program through the website. There is a standard email address. And from this point, we then assess the question internally and send you the answer. And if it's useful for more person, we publish it as part of the FAQ, which is online. So now I give the floor to Julia for the test of a demo of GEMS, and she will show you how to fill in your budget in the system. Okay, Julia, you can go. Julia, it's you.
Good morning to everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. So, good morning. Welcome to this jam session. My name is Giulia. I am a financial officer and I'm working for the Interreg Euromed Joint Secretariat. And in this section, I will guide you through our new monitoring system GEMS, providing a detailed walkthrough of a project or construction budget in the system and how to build, specifically, how to build a good project budget. So here you can see that I created the GEMS the GEM system. I create some test project, and here I am I supposed to be a lead partner. So I enter here in my page, and I supposed to have already entry some information like identity, address, contact, and motivation, and I will focus on the three key section of the project budget. So here you find the first one is the budget tabs, which outlines the financial plan for your project, and it includes costs for different activity, resources, and expenditures. Here you have the co-financing tabs. You will find here the detail about how your project will be funded by multiple parties. And here there is the last section dedicated to the state aids that provide you information on any state aid your project may receive. Now we are going to start from the state aid section to see if the activities that you aim to develop in your project proposal are state aid relevant. So here I remind you that it's mandatory, the state aid self-check, it's mandatory for all the partners. You will find specifically here two main parts, so which is namely basically criterium 1 and criterium 2. The first part is mainly there are two questions. So the first question refers that will the project applicant implement activity and or offers good service for which a market exists. And the second one, are the activity good or service that could have been undertaken by an operator with the view to making profit if in this is not applicant intention. So here we imagine that our answer is no. So we suppose that there are not activities that could have been taken in a view of marketing profit. So we can select, for example, no. Keep in mind that even if you select no, a justification must be provided. So it's recommended to provide a justification. In this case, you can enter that the project applicant does not plan to carry out any activities on its own. And the second one, you have 1,000 characters, and you can explain why why there are not operators that can benefit from your activities. Here I show you that in this little tabs there is English and French language with a little circles when you find this kind of little table here square, keep in mind that French you have to switch, you have to go to the French tab, and you have to input, you can copy and paste the same text you input for the English section, and you have to, it's mandatory to input the the French text. If you have not the skill to write in French, you can use translate, or you can put and paste the English text. It's okay for us. But going through the second criterion, the question is, does the partner receive an undue advantage in the framework of the project? So here you have two questions. We can follow the same logic. So so in this case, you are answering no, because you foresee to select an external service provider, for example, for via a public procurement, and the answer should be no, because in the application form you specifically foreseen a specific procedure to carry out the activities. So if here you have you can see you have the result of your self-check, so there is not risk of state aid, and the filling of information can stop here. So you don't have to do anything else. Otherwise, if we are in another scenario that your reply was yes, justification has been provided, the text has been input in both language, and the result, for example, is that there is a risk of state aid. Here you will you have to link the activities that foresee to activity that are state aid relevance. So you can click here and link the activity, for example, activity 1.1 that I have previously created. I put it here, and after that I go to the general exemption regulation, and I can select the scheme, the related scheme. So here I have 3 different options, depending on what I see before with Massimo as well. There is general de minimis, GBER Article 20, and indirect Article 20A. So I can so for example, I'm not stated relevant. I select save change to don't lose any information. I click save, and I finish to complete the stated self-check section. After that, I suggest you to jump to the budget section, because is a preparatory action to know afterwards the co-financing, how will be my co-financing, public co-financing, and but for that I need to input to build my budget. So here we are in the budget section. I show you briefly the layout of the budget page, where you will input the fact and figures. So the budget, here you have a part dedicated to the partner budget overview that remain empty until the budget information is filled. And once you will do that, here you have the perfect overview of the whole budget, of the whole your budget. So here you can see the different cost categories. here, the first one is your partner. Anyway, here you have the organization abbreviation of your of you. Here is we start with the 5 cost categories. So we have the staff cost and office and after we have office and administration cost, travel and accommodation, external expertise and service, equipment, infrastructure and works, and at the end we have a lump sum that must be set accordingly with your partnership, but I will show you how to do that. So as you know, in this programming period, as you know, as my colleague already said, for this programming period, we have 2 different flat rate option that can impact 2 main categories, such as office and administration and travel and accommodation. So for the moment, I didn't take any case related to this, to both, and I can show you that I have all the cost categories here, but at the moment that I will select office and administration and travel and accommodations as flat rate, the cost category will be reduced. So this will depend of what method of calculation you choose previously, if flat rate or real cost. So imagining that I am in flat rate, I select office and administration. You can see that here a 15% is set by default because everybody will have the same percentage. Here you have some more information. So when there is a little A with a circle, you go over and additional information appears. For what concern travel and accommodation flat rate, the system provide by default a percentage set at 22% of staff cost. This means that if you are an IPA partners, you can leave the percentage as so. But if you are RDF partner, you will modify the percentage manually. So for example, I am a RDF partner and I put 15% of staff costs. So I click, I save change, I save my information, and I will see another kind of screen. That means that the cost categories are reduced, and I can start filling the staff cost. Filling the staff costs. So here we can make an example. Keep in mind that the information that we want to, the GS want to receive, it's that 1 line per person. So you don't have to put all the amount dedicated to the overall staff cost in the same line. So for example, I will put the name of the employer. In this case, it's me, for example. The name and the surname. Here I can put the amount, the total amount expected for the overall project, implementation project, and here I need to split this 10,000 euro for each project period. So I put 2,000 here is I simplify the I simplify the splitting, but of course for the first period probably your employer will cost less that in the middle of your period or at the end. So here you can see that I fill all the information, and for example, if I make you an example, if here in the periods 5 I didn't input any amount and I click to save change, here in the last tab a gap in the gap section you will see 2,000 euros. This means that I need to complete my budget and that the overall period match with the total amount expected. Expected for, okay, and I click save. So the gap section will be 0. Anyway, if you have done any mistake, here you have to you have the trash bin that you can delete your entry at any time you want. And remember the little circle here in the English little box. So the information must be provided in English language. It's not important. It's not required in the French one. I repeat this action because if you don't feel the relevant information where the system require as mandatory, you will have some problem when you will submit your application at the end. So you have to do that. So I can I can add some more employee here repeating the same action. I will not do for a time issues, but you can do that. And passing here you can see so the office and administration costs that are calculated on 15%, and the same things of travel and accommodation. So we can pass filling the section of external expertise and service. So and here there is a tab that is displayed. I need to I have to enter the description of my external expertise and service. Here we for example we put example number 1. I have to input the information related to the award procedure. So the example number 1 for explain you can be your national controller, for example, because you have to appoint him at the very beginning of the project. So could be a realistic external expertise and service, or for example, you can put the catering relate to the kickoff meeting of your project, the first meeting you will have. This information have to be filled in the description. The award procedure, we expect that you can put, for example, public procurement. And here you have the option, as already said by my colleagues previously, you have the option to link your external expertise and service to an investment. It's not the case for the first example, so you can select not applicable. Here the amount of your first imagine that it's 10,000 euro, and you have to, and if it's the case of your national controller, for example, see that you need a certificate for each period. Here you can split the 10,000 euro for each 5 period, like that. Okay, so the last one. All right. Here the information to be filled are required only in English, and I can save the change, so the information will be not lost. We can go to the following section, that it's equipment. So I add an equipment to my budget, and well, here you can put the award procedure. For example, we fill public procurement, and if your equipment constitute an investment, you can indicate your choice here. I have previously created 2 different activities, so I can link my equipment to an activity. Here we can put as investment, and we can put C, right? Okay, and we imagine that my equipment has been purchased in the first period, so I will input the amount in the first period, and so I click to save change. And here as well, the information have to be provided only in English, because there is only 1 circle here. And I click to save change. So we are going to the last cost categories, that it's infrastructure and work. Here it's outline an infrastructure and cost and works, sorry, and you have to describe, to explain, to input the description of your infrastructure. Here we put an example, and the award procedure with which we expect to have it. So here we can put public procurement, and the same option you have to select if it's linked to an investment or not. You can have your investment, you can purchase your infrastructure and work, and the amount can be, for example, is 4,000 euro. And here it depends if it has been purchased with a depreciation plan or directly. So you can put the cost here. I will say 4,000 euro in the last period, and I saved the change. So I almost complete my budget, and then I have the last section, which is referring to the project lump sum that will be displayed here. And to do that, I need to set the amount according with my partners, and this is for do that I have to go in the relevant section A.1. So here in the left side you can see you have the relevant section. I click and I had the project lump sum. So this is the line. You have to select, but the only choice it will appear. It's basically frais de préparation. Here it's in English. So you must click preparation cost. Here in the period as well, you will see that many other periods are displayed, but you have only select the preparation. You need to split here, as already said before, you have some information. You just have to click over the little circle and the information will display. And the cost of lump sum will be displayed here at 37,000 euro. According how I said previously, with your partnership, you will insert the relevant amount. For example, here we can say that we will do the same for everybody. All right. No, sorry, because afterward. Okay. But obviously you will discuss about the perfect amount to be sure, depending on the involvement in the preparation of the project. Okay, so here you can see any text is mandatory anyway in English or French. So I click Save the Change and I enter the 30,000 euro. I come back to my budget section, and everything is complete. And in the bottom of the page, you can see that each partner will have 7,400 euro, and the total of the lump sum is displayed here, and the period and the program lump sum it's preparation cost. What's saying that? What else? My budget is complete, so we can jump to the co-financing. I'm sorry. Right, co-financing section. So here we are going to specify the co-financing source, the program, the Interreg Euromed funds of course, but the partner contribution and the origin on the partner contribution as well. Here you have some here it's referring about the source. So you will have only one choice. The choice is Interreg fund. That, as you can see, it's already it will be automatically calculated because I input all the information before. It's for that reason that I, after state aid, I went to budget section to input the relevant information to have the possibility after that to have a clear overview about the co-financing. So I can see that the percentage, the rate is 80% for this new programming period, and the amount calculated is displayed here. In this other section, it's dedicated to the region of the partner contribution. So we are imagining that we are supposing that we are public, as we have entered the information previously in the applicant section, and the amount will be, the partner contribution will be 8,000. Well, okay, so this is the partner contribution. This is the amount that is displayed here, and this is the result of the 20% that expected to be added by my own contribution. So just to let you know that here you can have some countries can add an external contribution. This not apply to everybody, but for example, here, if you select the legal status of contribution, you can have the public, the private, and the automatic public contribution. For example, here we can say fondo di rotazione. And if it's your case, you have to input the source of your contribution. Here you have to select the legal status of, and here input the relevant amount of your eventual additional contribution. So I click to save change. Let's see. So co-financing and partner contribution are definitely completed. So here it's almost finished because the section have been correctly. We will see that at the end of the processes. If they are correctly filled in. I can show you that now the partner budget overview is complete. You can have an outlook on all your expenditure, and if you go in the left side of your page, you can go also in to see the project budget. So the section D allows you to have a project budget per co-financing source breakdown per partner. So here you have all the partners of your project, and you can see the Interreg funds. For example, here we are the lead partner, so we can see that all the information are here. Interreg funds, Interreg rate, the public contribution, and so on, and the total eligible budget. The same thing can be displayed will appear for the other partner of your project. You have also the overview per partner per cost categories. Here you have staff cost and so on, all the cost categories and the total of the amount expected, and so. And here per partner and per period, so you have all the information that you need. I will show you something here. There is another section that will be very important in your case, is the application annexes. As you know, as you read by the term of reference of this call, you will have 1 week after the closure of the call, after the submission of your proposal, to upload your annexes. So this will be expected on June 26th at 1 p.m. Brussels time, and here in this section you can upload the relevant annex. For example, you have to submit. After that, you go to check and submit. And here I'm after having checked that all the information, we suggest to do a double check of all the information you input, and to submit your application, you will go to check and submit. So clicking on run pre-submission check. My application will be not submit directly because, as you see, some information is missing. So to submit this application, all conditions of the pre-submission must be met. Here I have 3 circles in red. That means that in the project identification, 3 issues are missing. In the project partner as well, for example, I open the tab and I can see that the lead partner must be located. Well, here you know exactly all the information that are missing. So I go back. In this case, I go back in my page, and I will enter all the information, all the missing information. Once the information are completed, I will there. We imagine that everything is highlighted in green, so I can submit my project application, and that's finish. Remind to be for your budget, take in mind to be almost realistic as possible. And for any other further information, don't hesitate to contact us for any question. This is today is the opportunity, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
We are back to the session. So concerning the presentation made by Julia, these are for concerning the specific, let's say, the specific program features of the system. But I put on the chat the guidelines toward the general guidance from GEMS. So it's provided by the, well, GEMS is not developed by the program. It's developed by another, by Interact. And the general guidance is available on the chat. So it's about the how to fill in the application form in general way. They are not the chapter dedicated to our lump sum or to our flat rate. So those are the points that have been presented by Julia. So if you have more doubts, you can have a look at this at those website, and they are also for sure the link are available in our own website, and you can find them through Google in general. So there is a question. There was a question about the name of the person. For sure, you can put and you should put on the budget not the individual names but the functions of the person. So you can put general coordination or financial coordinator or communication officer, and you can budget. And if you don't have the visibility on this type of on the staff composition, you can also put more general aspects than, for instance, coordination of the management and technical coordination. It's not, there is no compulsory items we want to see on the budget. It's our overview of the budget will allow us to understand that you understood the needs for project management, for implementation of activities, but there is no good or bad answer on this aspect. Then there was another question concerning the automatic public co-financing. Okay, Guillaume sent you the link. My colleague sent you the link. It's only for specific member state. If our account is not confirmed yet, we can send an email to fix. Okay, sorry. This is networking. And then there was another issue. I think, let me check.
Sorry, Ludi, only to complete your answer about the name.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do recommend to not put the name because there are GPDR restriction on this issue too. So maybe it's not important for the budget construction to know the name and surname of the people who are working. Then it is relevant. It's a relevant information only in a reporting phase, I think, because you have to make connection between the cost that you are claiming for and the audit trade that is behind, such as the task assignment, but you will see it if your project will be selected. So I think that in this case, as already said by Ludivine, I think it's very important to have to show that, at least for you, it's very important to have a clear idea of the staff working on the project, and if it's clear for you to put it such as management or financial following, etc., etc.
And the same for the procurement and for external providers. You don't have on the system, it is put in name, but you don't have to put the name of the contractor. You have to put the name of the expertise of the domain. No. Yes. Consultancy for national control, for instance. No, the name of your. Those are points that we cannot modify in the application form, but please do not put individual data at that stage. Okay, so now I will go on only to close and to show you about okay, how to complete. So how to complete? We are ready, and I think. Okay, so a global reminder, how to fill in the application form. So the lead partner is responsible for filling in the application form on behalf of all partners. We recommend to not give a writer access to all your partners, because you may have some issue concerning the submission and the delays and the deadlines. So give an access reader to your partner. when you create an application form. You, as lead partner, will be in charge of managing the profile associated to your application. So in this case, for the application phase, put only the reader access. It's a recommendation. Then, taking into account the point we previously presented about the eligibility of cost and the categories and the travel and accommodation method that will be used by your partners, and the preparation cost issue also. Those are two, let's say, negotiation points that will be that must be very clear before filling in the document. And concerning the pre-submission check presented by Julia, please use it at different stage and in advance. Do not wait the 12th of June to use it, because the pre-submission check is focusing on many small points. So there is a very big possibility that points are highlighted in red. So run it regularly, and in order to check each time which element can be missing or not well detailed on your application form. Well, the same concerning the budget and the feedback you can get from partners. We advise to make a final round with your final application form before submitting it, and to take time for amendments if your partner have specific requests. And an external assessment is always advised. So give the tools on the website. We give the courtesy application form. We give, so with indication, but also the key, the mayor template. And we give the assessment grid. So an external person can try to assess your project based on the tool that the GS will use during the assessment. And finally, once the pre-submission check is green and once you submit the application form, you will be able to generate the compulsory documents. So the partner declaration and the investment statement. So those documents, there is a lead partner declaration and a partner declaration, but it's only the engagement that changed, but the content, the numbers and the automatic field remains the same. So you will see in it the state aid relevance, you will see the travel and accommodation method and the share of preparation costs that will go in this document. And the statement of capacity and compliance with the principle for investment. This is a compulsory document that must be known by all your partners that want to implement an investment, because we try to sum up in one document all obligations that should be respected, that must be respected by partners implementing investment. So make the document available to your partner. There is also a courtesy version on the website, so spread out the information to all your partnership in order for them to be aware about the obligation related to investment. And well, all documents must be uploaded by the deadline of the 26th. I think we covered all the points. I will have a look if there are additional questions. Is it possible to call this? Yeah, about eligibility of expenses, it is possible to have a service provider but outside the European zone. Yeah, you can. Only be sure to implement correctly the public procurement rules, because you should be able to prove that that you selected him or based on a fair and open selection process. Okay, and I think that's all. So, well, if you have more specific questions, please send it to the standard email address. We will assess them and send you back our answer. If it's relevant, the answer will be published in the FAQ, also available online, and as presented already by my colleague last week, there is also a networking page where you can find partners. Sorry.
It's important to answer, I guess. So it's no. I read the question. A partner asks if co-financing can be done in a way of additional workload. I think they refer to the in-kind contribution, and this is not eligible in our program. With the section conversation. And another question arrived. Is it possible to obtain the Word files for all the annexes in advance? Yes.
They are already on the website. There is a section of the website about application phase, and there you find all the documents in a courtesy version. So the standard documents, and in the page of your call, the term of reference and the courtesy application form. Okay, so from the Q&R, it's all. The declaration are submitted by the deadline between the 12th and the 26th of June.
Another
The deadline on the term of reference. Okay, so if it's all, we thank you very much for following us till the end, and wish you great application phase and a good cooperation with your potential future partners. Thank you all.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.